This is Adam Marburger, and this is Humans That Build. Real conversations with real people, not just about what they've built in the world, but what had to be built inside them first. No hype, no shortcuts, just humans doing the work. Humans That Build, real people, real work. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Humans That Build. I'm your host, Adam Marburger, and this show is about the humans behind the scenes. What did we actually do to build the thing that we built? Today, I've got somebody very special, a dear friend, somebody who's made a huge impact in my life personally, but also has made a global impact. Danelle Delgado, how are you doing?
I could not be better, and I'm pretty excited to be your first guest.
You are my first guest. You are my first guest, and I'm so excited about this. You know, you and I have been talking for the last couple of years about kind of just pulling the trigger on the dang thing.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, you've been doing it without doing it by name for years, right? You have been interviewing, getting people all over the place, but to lean in on something that you believe in so much, that is really the core of jujitsu, business, all the different things. I'm like, oh, let's make it a thing. This is cool.
Well, sometimes I think you just kind of get it. You got to get out of your own way, right? And just freaking do it, right?
Always.
So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to talk story, but we're also going to talk about the code that how you built. So we're going to get right into this. I'm going to throw some curveballs at you. We're going to have some fun. I know you're ready for anything and everything. So let's get ready. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'm going to have you fill in the blanks. Okay. I'm going to give you a short sentence, and you're going to fill in the blank, okay?
Am I landing the plane quickly, right?
Oh, yes. So we're going to finish this sentence. I hit the wall when.
Oh, I hit the wall when I don't have mentorship by my side, right? I feel like I hit the wall when, let's say, emotions get higher than facts, when feelings are bigger than facts, and I don't have someone to smack me around and be like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you crying? This is time to execute. When you're like, I think it's always like, I've always had someone to chase, someone to coach me back into using my brain, but I hit a wall when I don't have resources around me. Wrong people.
All right. Well, let me piggyback quickly off that.
Yeah.
Where were you when you realized?
It was like my life gave me a series of challenges where I had to do it all myself, I thought. And so it was like I had twins right after I had one. So I had a 16-month-old, I had twins. I was writing for this company, and it was like I had to learn to ask for help because I didn't literally have enough arms. Then in business, like I tried to do everything myself, figured out, and I just wrestling. I'm like, why are they going so fast? They're younger than me. They're not as smart as me. You know, what is happening? And I'm like, oh, they got help. And it was like the biggest challenge of my life to learn how to ask for help when help was the greatest accelerator. But it was very humbling. And so maybe the answer is ego was my biggest wall.
Many of us can relate to that.
Yeah.
So here's the next sentence. The first thing I changed was.
First thing I changed was I could not stop thinking that I couldn't do it, right? So the first thing I changed was I wrote, it was a focus of, instead of what I can't do, why I can't, overthinking about why other people could, I started overthinking what could happen, and I put sticky notes all over my house of the things I wanted to become, like my favorite lines. Augmentino was like, I will grow into a mountain, not shrink into a grain of sand. So like everywhere I looked, the fridge, my car, my house was covered in what I wanted to become, almost like I was reading it daily, because my thoughts were killing me every single day. And so that was the first thing I changed, was I have to eliminate all humans and tell the story I want to tell around me. And so that was like, I did that for like a year. So I couldn't hear my weak thoughts.
Right. So let's slightly piggyback. So what did that look like, say, daily, like from a routine standpoint?
Yeah.
Knowing that, what did that look like daily for you?
Yeah. So that was wake up, go to the bathroom mirror. I changed nearly every day from something I was reading, like listening to something on Audible 15 minutes every morning when I was getting ready, brushing my teeth, whatever. I'd pull something from it. I'd write it on a sticky note, stick it on my mirror, but there was something written on there every day as well. I'd walk down the stairs. There's sticky notes down the stairs. Like literally everywhere I turned, because I learned that the moments I wasn't telling my brain what to do, it went the other direction.
Okay. Okay. I love these questions here, what I'm about to ask you. So now I don't fill in the blank. Now I don't.
Oh, now I don't let anyone in my life who I'm not 100% certain they would contribute to my ascent.
Okay.
Everything is contagious. Everything. Even someone who doesn't believe in themselves will never be in my inner circle. Don't be sneezing that on me, right? Somebody who's disrespectful to a waiter. Somebody, like, people got to show me who they are. It takes a while to come in my inner circle. I don't let anyone in for a while.
Okay. Okay. And now this next question is, and I always.
And I always pray.
I
think, right, like I will always, one of the 10 scrolls is I will pray for guidance. And I think sometimes it's from above, sometimes it's learning to listen to yourself, think first. Too many times we're always aching for other people's opinions, because I think all of my other answers were like, who's around me? Like I'm hearing the pattern in the questions you're asking is like, who's around me was the number one most important thing. But this last question is like, but my thoughts are the absolute. And that comes from me, prayer time, like my meditative focus on what I actually think and believe has to be the core number one. And then the people around kind of have to agree with that.
Love that. So there's someone out in the world, there's many out in the world, but there's somebody that's going to listen to this when it airs that is stuck right now. They're stuck. Maybe they're hopeless. Maybe it's bad circumstances. Maybe it's an unfortunate event. What's the first move they should make?
Yeah, number one is, I'd say it's probably twofold. Number one, write down gratitude every single day. 10 things you're grateful for. Write it, see it, hear it. Your mind cannot see opportunity when it sees challenges. And you have to train it to think opportunity first. Like, even my kids, from this pattern that we've done, when something bad happens, they're like, I wonder what's happening here. Wonder what it's opening for me. So I think gratitude's number one. The other thing is the power of the mind. So I would say read. You don't have to know somebody great. You have to read somebody great. My heroes were authors before they were human beings, before I grew confidence to go talk to people I wanted to spend time with. I mean, Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, like these were my mentors. Even though they were dead for many years, if you read books, you will start doubting weak people in your circle who doubt you, right? Like I was like, this is this. It aligns with the Bible, it aligns with how I feel, but it doesn't agree with Sally. So you start to spit out things that aren't facts because, yeah, you got to go seek truth. And so that's books and gratitude.
So I always tell people, you want the blueprint, and the greats before us left us the blueprint in the form of books. You just got to pick the dang thing up and read it. Most importantly, take some action on what you read.
Yeah, which is hard because I don't think I ever read a book in school. I wasn't a reader. People will tell me that all the time. I'm not a reader. I was like, well, now you can't do that because you could listen. Like Audible, podcasts, right? Everything we're doing here. This podcast that you're creating now is probably going to save someone's life 20 years from now, where they pick it up, listen to it, and hear. I want everyone to understand that the keys to everything they want is just one human who picked up the right information and took it for a run.
Love it. So we've kind of got your code. So I'm going to ask you some more foundational questions, and we're going to get right into this. So where did survival mode begin for you? A lot of people from the outside might look at Danelle Delgado as this superpower that's on planes, staying in exotic places, doing the things with a lot of fun, different people, but I'm pretty confident it wasn't always that way. And so your story's special, and I personally know your story. So where did the survival mode begin? Where did that start for you?
Yeah. Survival mode started when I decided to choose me and my kids and what I thought was right. So I was young. My twins were 2, oldest was 3. And somebody asked me, if this were your daughter in the same situation, what would you do? And I was like, I would leave. And I knew that's what I had to do. I just knew. And so I did. And when I made that choice, every family member, every friend disagreed. And so I was alone. I had a couple of new friends in business who were kind of trying to mentor me, but were kind of like, you're in a really bad spot. They rented a hotel, not a hotel, apartment for me for 30 days. And I had like 30 days to figure it all out. And that was my first day one of survival mode. I couldn't afford anything. I bought a tent like with my last money. And I thought if the kids are playing inside there in the apartment, they won't notice I don't have furniture. I have nothing. What am I doing? Am I crazy? And I doubted myself the whole time. But that survival mode started that day where I was sitting, the kids fell asleep, and I was like, oh, this is war. Okay, I'm going to have to figure something out that I've never done before.
Well, where do you find mentors? Like for you specifically, if you don't mind describing, if you can, who were they?
Yeah.
How did you seek out to them? And what was that process like?
Well, at first, I think the only mentorship I knew growing up, I was an athlete, right? So coaches, I was kind of looking for that, back in our day when we were raised, coaches were hardcore. They yelled at us. They expected, there were no tears. I was a gymnast, so it was like hardcore. You were hurt, you got up and finished. And so in life, I think that's who I looked for. I looked for hardcore. Nearly all of my mentors were strong men who I respected, like how they treated their families. They were successful in business, but cared also about character and those kinds of things. So I think it was like, hey, my values and the strictness with which they talk to me. I appreciate truth over kindness. And I think sometimes because I was female, they were tender with me. And I was like, please just tell me what I need to do. And so if they were wishy-washy, they were out for me. I was like, just speak clearly to me, because I feel like you're lying if you're not telling me the truth. So that's what I looked for. Who's going to tell me the truth and risk hurting my feelings? And who's going to be there when it gets ugly? And who has the character of someone I would want? And it was those things. Who has the results that I don't know how to get yet? And then the mentors changed over time. I actually don't think I have a mentor that isn't still pretty much in my life, right? A lot of them, several were pro athletes. I just ended up, when you're in business discussions, you end up around pro athletes. Like it was accidental, but here's one thing I did that most people didn't. When I was in the room with them, I would go talk to them, and most people won't. Like I would go up and ask in-depth, clear questions. I wasn't nervous. I was searching for, tell me what you wish you knew before you won, right? You know what to do this. And I built relationships with people very quickly just because of how I cared for people. So I would give and help and support, and then they came back and were great as humans. Then they would come back and teach me how to invest. And then, as I did, the answer to getting the greatest mentors in the world is go do what they tell you to do, and then tell them thank you, and they'll continue to tell you secrets the rest of your life. I think mentors get tired of telling people what to do and they don't do it. So they don't help anymore.
Yeah, you'd be surprised too. Like what I found is you'll be surprised those that'll help you if you just ask. Like you going in the room, not being afraid to speak to people, where you got 100 people in that room and maybe there's 2 of you, probably me and you, if I was in that room, we'll go talk to everybody. And the 98 people are going to sit around. Well, maybe I get to meet them later. Yes. No, take action, because it makes them feel good about themselves. Like it makes them feel a certain way to want to help, but you got to want to help yourself first though, I think, right? Like you just said.
That's right. You have to be in this place where you're like, no matter what, I'm winning. Who do I need? What do I, and when it pops up, right? I think I was too afraid not to talk to him. I felt like they were sent by God himself. Like I prayed for help. Here it is. Go talk to him. Right? I think people are shocked too. They're like, how did you get all of these friends way up here? Famous people, whatever, celebrities. And I was like, well, you just reach out. Do you guys know how many people never do? They're always shocked even when we respond. I can't believe you're writing me back. One day I want to meet you. I was like, well, why don't you just come over? Well, nobody writes. Right. We respond, you know?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So you've got multiple businesses. We don't have the time today to break down everything that you do, but you do a lot. In your business life, what was that breakthrough moment where you went to that next level? What was that moment, that one little breakthrough that took Danelle from here to here? What was that, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, no, not at all. I think the big breakthrough, like I was doing coaching and live events myself. I was putting hundreds of people in a room and killing myself to do these training events for sales, right? I built an audience so big. They fought for me to have a spot on the 10X stage. Like they were searching for female speakers. It was almost like, who does anybody know? Nobody knows any great female speakers. And I was like, And my audience attacked the Cardone crew and were like, put Danelle on there. They were familiar with me. He had spoken at my events, but they hounded him so much. They put me on there. And then I was, of course, the least successful human on this stage. Like I had just made my first, like probably $1 million year, $1.5 million. And this was 2016, I think. And so I was like, fresh meat, man. And they just put me out there in what I call the hangover spot, the first spot Saturday morning after everybody goes out on Friday night and half of them show up. Right. And they didn't know that I was going to do very well. And so they let me sell from stage. They put my tables outside the room because they didn't want my rinky dink show to affect anyone. Russell Brunson was coming up after me. And this was the moment. I literally hardly even remember what happened. I had no team, no help, nobody at the table, but I had a lot of clients in the audience coming to see me speak, people who supported me from around the world. And I spoke, they're flashing red lights at me down there. I sold. I walked off backstage and they were like asking for an interview. And I was like, I have to go back there just in case somebody's buying, right? Like I'm total doubt in myself. I go back there. It is filled with thousands of people. And my clients are behind the table signing people up. They're like, no, you go take pictures. Who is better to close for you than the people who believe in you, who you've changed their life? Yeah. They're closing everybody. I didn't even have a QR code, a website. Let me just tell you this. I hand typed in every credit card number myself all night. Between that and the mastermind thing I sold right to that group of people, it was $1 million a day for me that I hand did with no team out of the blue. I stayed up all night. My kids were sleeping next to me in the bed because they came with me because I didn't really have anyone's help. And I was sat there and I go, oh, we're doing this thing. Look it. And then I helped those people go on to do miracle businesses and they did exactly what I did. And I was like, not only can I do it, I can teach it and we can multiply this thing. And that's where I was like, I'm here to change lives. Let's go. But I still remember when I felt like sitting there, like, I didn't even know the number until I checked my account and I was like, is this really? This is unbelievable. This is what people talk about. And I was like, man, it's much easier to make $1 million in a day than it is in a year. Let's do this again.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's what had to happen for me to finally believe in myself. Like I just had a good heart, wanted to help people. But then I was like, oh no, we're changing the world. Let's go.
I love that. So you've got a breakthrough. Your business is booming. You're making more than you've ever made. And then now you're getting into systematizing your company. So what are two of the top 3 systems that you've instilled in your business that have changed your growth at scale? What are a couple systems that you believe in that you've used?
Yeah. I mean, number one is the grid that I train all the time. It's the goal setting system that I make everyone in my company do. And they always have to have one personal, one professional thing that they're working. It's how we know. What it does is it spits out 15 steps that must be done daily in order for us to hit our goal. And when we do it, we never miss. That is the number one strategy. Because if we're missing, I'm like, what are we not doing? Or did we build the grid wrong? Right? So it creates priorities and strategies, what has to go first. I think most people are shiny object syndrome people. They're living off hopium. They have no strategy to hit goals. My team, everyone on the team knows exactly which part of the goal they are. They know what happens if they don't do it. They know what happens when we win and we go celebrate together. Like, it is so systematized how we advance every 90 days. And it's such a fun thing. I would say that's probably system number 2 is fun. I am fun motivated, so it has to be in there. But that's probably one. The other thing is, I fought this forever that nobody could do the job like I could. But the truth is, there are people out there who do it way better than me. So when I got ahead of every company in charge of a VP of sales, a chief operating officer over here, when I put people in the right places, like I'm doing 4 meetings a week this year, and that's all I'm doing. I'm like, what do I do with my arms? This is weird. Greatest system in the world is when you build a company, and this is what I learned, when you build a company that blows your mind, that you absolutely love to be a part of, I didn't go seeking these people, they sought me. They wanted to work with me. And they are the greatest human beings. They're people I'd have around my kids that I want attached to my name. And it's like dream. So I would just say there's somebody who can do it better. There's, and when you live your potential, that really is the system to attract who you should have running your companies.
Now,
you attract weakness.
On the flip side, winning is fun, and, we all love to win, but let's just pretend for a minute when you're through a season where maybe you have a setback or you're not winning as much. How do you deal with that? How do you cope with a major setback? How do you personally deal with that now at your level of profession?
Yeah, this is going to sound so simple, but it's literally what I do. It takes a lot to I'm pretty unoffendable. So it takes a lot to get under my skin and do things. But when it knocks me around a little bit, I always say when something's going bad, go do something good. And I will take the kids and go serve meals at a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter, or we have a place we do here that we go pack things. When something goes bad, I take a minute and I call 3 people who haven't paid me, but I know they could use a tip, a strategy session, a moment. And I just call them and I go, hey, I'm here for you today. Let's talk through whatever you got going on, right? $100,000 value for a minute, for just to do it. I'll fly somewhere and go help someone with their company. I think last year, spring break, I was just having a minute in life and I flew to 6 dealerships and went and spoke at their dealerships just to serve them. Like, they used our programs, but I was like, let's just go save some lives, right? So, I think that is my system, because when I go do good, I can't feel bad. And I think anytime I feel bad, that's a day that I'm wasting not helping people. So I got to get over myself. And that's the deal. It's dangerous to play that game with yourself. So just go do something good and you're like, all right, I'm back at it.
Well, that's good stuff. We're gonna land the plane on this conversation the most useful way possible. All right. I want to have you give me 3 things that someone can do this week to start winning again, 1 mistake to avoid, and then I'll have you leave 1 sentence for these future builders that we're working with to build something great. So let's start with the 3 things someone can do this week to start winning again, or winning for the first time.
Yeah. Number 1, the greatest thing you have to do is get your mind in gear. And the easiest way to get your mind in gear is to sweat every day. You got to work out. You got to 30 minutes walk uphill on a treadmill. It doesn't have to be difficult. Grab something heavy and go for a walk, right? When you sweat daily, it changes everything in your life. So number 1, that's what you can start. You don't know what to do, you go for a walk. You go to the gym, you go to a class. If you don't know what to do, they'll tell you what to do, and you just start. I I always try to tell people if there's something they could do. So these 3 things are all, if you will do daily for 365 days, you will be winning at the end of the year. Does that make sense? So number 1, sweat daily. Number 2, 10 things you're grateful for every single day. It sounds simple. It will change the scientific makeup of your brain. Negativity will be eliminated. And number 3 is that one thing that you know you need to do every single day that you haven't been doing. If it's for your business and you know you need to make sales calls every single day, just one move, and you do it every single day for the next 365 days. If it's changing the relationship with your kiddo, then it's one conversation every single day for the next 365 days. There is usually one move that you could make to change something in your life, go from where you are to where you want to be. You did it every single day, 365 days. There's no way you could lose. So that's it. Sweat daily, 10 things you're grateful for. Find that one move in the thing you want to fix and do it.
And then the mistake to avoid. What's one mistake that we should be avoiding?
Never speak when you're emotional.
Let me write that down. I need to.
I learned to master the art of the deep breath. I think about how our words affect ourselves and the nervous systems of others. And that's the only thing I would take back sometimes I'm pretty smart with my words and I'm a little spicy. So sometimes I just think that's like the number one mistake. Our job is to leave people better than you found them. And when you speak emotionally or make decisions emotionally, you mess up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Mistake in one sentence. Is that right?
Yeah, one sentence to leave future builders that are going to go do great things in this world.
Yeah, I feel like my sentence might be overused, but it always brings me back to reality. Who loses if you don't win? And when you know the answer to that question, you wake up differently and you go serve them like your life depended on it. I always say, people are like, how did you get back up? I'm like, I had 3 tiny faces. They will always, every single day, be the reason I get up and I don't quit, because I probably would have without them. And so who loses if you don't win? When you know the answer to that question, even if it's just you owe it to yourself. Get up and go.
I love that. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. This has been a great chat. Where do people find you? I know you're all over, but what's the easiest way if folks want to really get to know you better, learn from you at a higher level, connect with you at a higher level? Where's the best way to direct people to you, Danelle?
You're amazing. Every day I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, almost, and DanelleDelgado.com. But write me a message. Shoot me one. Tell me what you're going after. You never know who's going to give you the one piece of advice that will help. Adam, thanks for all you're doing for humans.
Yes. Well, thank you. And thank you all for tuning in to Humans That Build. We're going to change lives, and you're a big part of this story, y'all. Stay tuned to the next episode. Humans That Build. Real people, real work. See you next time.